said you can bury the workman, but the work will go on. You can silence the voices, but you can't stop the song.
Welcome to Wheeling the Pathways of Life Unplugged with your host, Brain Fitzpatrick. Wheeling the Pathways of Life Unplugged is a snapshot of the day-to-day experiences of disabled individuals as they navigate the world around us. We wish to shed light and open your eyes on a new perspective of people with disabilities. And by going unplugged, we can discuss viewpoints we hope will challenge our viewers' points of view. Most of us have disabilities we must live with, but what defines us is the way we deal with them. And now, here's your host, Brain Fitzpatrick.
Coming to you live from the facilities of Pittsfield Community Television, Channel 1301. And I'd like to thank the people at Pittsfield Community Television for having me on the air every week to talk to you about different situations. Today I kind of want to talk about the psychological effect. Now, I'm not a psychologist, but I am well versed in my own experience with the psychological effect of dealing with different people day in and day out, as far as staff goes. Now, mind you, I'm not saying this is everybody's experience, but this is my experience. What I'm referring to is people, when they are working in a person's home, when they are working in a person's home, they kind of make themselves at home and make them, I don't mind making people comfortable, but just remember, it's a job. It's not, you're not there to make yourself comfortable. You're there to make yourself comfortable, but you gotta remember it's somebody else's house. And you can't just do what you want in somebody else's house. What I'm referring to is like, you gotta meet the client in the middle when it comes to what they want to do and how they want to do things, and not let your personal opinions over what they do and how they live their lives. Don't let your opinions affect the way they live their lives. Now, I understand what you mean. What you're probably thinking is, well, if I work for you part of my job is to affect the way you live your life. Yes, it is physically, but not necessarily the personal opinions of what I'm doing psychologically or what I'm doing. A lot of times, a lot of people put their opinions into what they do, and a lot of times the opinions of other people inadvertently do not allow the client or the consumer to live their life the way they want to. Now, that's just a bit of, in other words, prime example. In other words, if I'm eating something and I want to eat it as a sandwich, or I want to eat it with, I want to take it down to a simple situation for you. If I'm eating a sandwich, I ask the client if he wants to eat it as a sandwich or eat food with a fork or eat it as a sandwich. It's not up to you as a PCA or a caregiver to tell the client how they're going to eat the food, unless there's special diets or something for that individual that have been written by a doctor saying they can't eat normal food. Because the main purpose of what I'm talking about, and this was a discussion over the last couple of weeks, is giving me agency over my own life. Okay? There's a cross between what I mean by agency, letting me make decisions that I want to make. Now, there's a difference between giving me the ability to have agency over what I want to do versus me giving staff agency to tell me what they want to do. Now, the difference that I want to make, the difference that I want to tell you is I'm giving them agency to make suggestions, okay? But they are not firm decisions that I am making. I'm not going to take necessarily what they suggest and use it in the way they want me to use it. I may take bits and pieces of the information and let them, because despite what people think, a PCA, in theory, is just physical care only. Okay? It's just physical care. Human nature, and the right thing to do is take other people's opinions over what they should do in life and what they shouldn't do in life. But the main goal is sometimes the less opinions you give and the less ability, the more opinion you give, the less ability the consumer has to make his own decisions. Because if other people make decisions for you and suggest everything for you, the client or the consumer, or whichever way you want to phrase it, is more likely to take your opinion as the right thing to do. That's not teaching them, in my opinion, how to make their own decisions. Now there are some clients that don't have the ability to make decisions or don't make the right decisions. But give the consumers the right to make their own mistakes. Now, what needs to happen is a conversation about things, and not let your opinions over what the client does dictate to them what they're doing. Now, let me take a break for a minute and tell you something. You're looking at a different bug on the screen, as we call it. UCP of Western Mass is the agency that I'm with. UCP of Western Mass is one of the biggest and one of the strongest overall support for people with cerebral palsy, and hence UCP of Western Mass. The agency does not necessarily deal with just people with disabilities. They do not necessarily just deal with people with CP. They deal with people with a variety and very wide spectrum of disabilities, like we deal with some being blind, we deal with other forms of debilitating and motor functioning and mental disabilities, and some pediatric development disabilities, and they deal with some housing situations. And believe it or not, I've been with UCP for the last 40 years, 40 plus, 41, almost 42 years. Yes, I'm getting older. That is inevitable. And getting older is sometimes fun, but getting older it gets tougher. It doesn't get easier. But UCB and the agencies help us as disabled individuals to be as productive and as independent as we can be. Remember, folks, as I said last week, independence. Independence is kind of a controversial word with me. Independence does not mean you don't need help. Sometimes in my case, when I'm as independent, the more independent I can be, the better. But sometimes to be independent, you need outside help. And sometimes the toughest thing to do, the toughest disability you can have, is to ask for help. That is the strongest disability some people have. They just refuse to ask for help. You can't go through life not asking for help. If you could, there wouldn't be as many people as there are in this world, because God wouldn't put people in your life to help you if you didn't need help. And part of our mission in life is to be a benefit to other people. Why would I be here doing what I'm doing right now if I wasn't a benefit to somebody? And people have got to realize let me tell you something, folks. The best person in the world can't do everything. The best person in the world is disabled in some way. They can't do it all. So they need other people to help them achieve what they're achieving. Whether it be teacher, whether it be advisors, whether it be physical therapy because of an injury or something like that. But we all need help with something. And when you look at it that way, if you need help with something, you can help somebody else with something too. Okay? It doesn't have to be anything physical, but you can help people with talking to them. You can help people with making phone calls, make sure they got what they need. Even if it's going to your elderly neighbors and checking up on them and making sure they're okay. Volunteering for Meals on Wheels. Of course, you're gonna have to contact them to set that up, but I'm sure Meals on Wheels could use your help. But, you know, there's always stuff you can do to help other people. It doesn't take a lot of time, but it takes just the thought of helping other people. Maybe enough. You can thank it. You can, if you can thank it, if you don't have time, they could always help financially. I mean, we all are struggling financially, but at the same time, if you're struggling financially, the people with disabilities are also struggling as well. Now, when we come back, I will continue the conversation and tell you about some other things that are coming up on the show in the future, and tell you about some of the experiences that I've had during the week, and how much disabilities are actually getting out there in the mainstream media. We will be right back, folks.
You're the God of this city. You're the King of these people. You're the Lord of this nation. You are. You're the light in the darkness. You're the hope to the hopeless. You're the peace to the restless. You are. There is no one like our God. There is no one like you, God. Greater things have yet to come, and greater things are still to be done in this city. You're the Lord of creation, the creator of all things. You're the King above all kings. You are. You're the strength in our weakness. You're the love to the broken. You're the joy in the sadness. You are. There is no one like our God. There is no one like you, God. Greater things yet to come, and greater things are still to be done in this city. As glory shines from hearts alive with praise to you and love for you in this city.
afternoon, folks, and welcome back to Wheeling the Pathways of Life. And thank you, Nick Winter, for that wonderful rendition of that song. And that song is correct. There is work to be done in the city. Not only in this city, but other places in this country and other parts of the world. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about real quick, and again, before I start talking about it, this is my opinion, and my opinion alone. I am not being paid, or nor is the station responsible for what I'm going to say or my opinions of this subject that I'm going to talk about today, right now. But I have seen some major changes throughout the many months that I've been watching TV, and some of the most famous TV shows like America's Got Talent and stuff like that. There are people who are absolutely what I would call minimal function people on that show, that once you get them in front of a piano or singing, they have the greatest talent they can have. But you would never know it just talking to them. Okay? There are people with disabilities that have so much potential. If people would just take the time and listen to them and respect them enough, to take the time and the consideration enough to listen to them and understand who they are. And I applaud, I don't normally do this, but I applaud the mainstream media from what I've seen with those shows, in particular with I am amazed that even one particular show is taking the time to, one show in the whole mainstream media is taking the time to have these people on and giving them the recognition. Of course, some of it could be just so they're looking at it from the point of view of, see what we do, we have these people on too. But most of the time, I think it's a genuine interest in the show, but interest in what they have capability of doing. But whenever you get into those kind of things, of course you're gonna have a situation where the TV show and the people that are running the TV show, and again, this is not the opinion of the station or my opinion in general about the station I'm just talking about. Other mainstream public TV shows that are being paid to have people on their shows and to get benefits out of, get financial gain from having these people on. I believe that there are a few people and a few shows that genuinely take consideration and respect people for who we are as disabled individuals, and that we can make a difference and we can be powerful spokespeople, and we can entertain, and we can give valuable information out there. And I just like to say I'd like to see more of people listening to us as human beings. Never mind the fact we're in a chair. We can, I can tell you one thing, and while I'm telling you this, if I could pull out a little bit, I'm gonna do a thing with the chair. What you see is just a piece of equipment holding an outside physical body of an individual with a disability. It does not mean my thought processes are disabled. It does not mean it does not mean that I am stupid in any means. It does not mean I'm slow. It just means my physical body doesn't work like everybody else's. It doesn't mean we're not intelligent. It does not mean we're not smart enough to make decisions. Okay, Kelsey, you can go back in now. It does not mean that we can't be productive members of society. Even people with disabilities can be an integral part of the government if they want to be, an integral part of college if they want to be, decision making around their city, and they can speak up just as well as everybody else can. If you let everybody else speak up for them, how are they going to learn to speak up for themselves? Now, I won't tell you who it is, but I actually had a teacher ask me one time, why would you want to learn how to read? Why do you want to learn how to read? You're never going to read a novel. Okay? Meaning, because I can't hold a book. The teacher was asking me, it's not easier for you to read, so why would you want to learn how to read? what right is it the people to make that decision? We, as disabled individuals, have the right and should be afforded the right to make those decisions for ourselves. The only decision that teachers need to make is give us the ability to give us the tools we need as far as education that we want as education. Give us the tools we want for an education that we need for an education to let us compete in the society today, making decisions of, okay, you're never gonna sit down and read a book, you're never gonna put yourself in the bedroom and read a book. You know what I say to that? Who the heck are you to tell me what I am or what I'm not going to do? Okay? People with disabilities, we all, in some one way or another, we all put our pants on one leg at a time like everybody else. How would somebody with the strong, I don't care how strong you are with an ability or not, that right there, ignorance and downright insulting attitudes is what's wrong with this world today. If you guys knew, that's never gonna happen to me. He's just disabled, he doesn't know what he's talking about. I want you to stop and think for a second. You could be in my situation in the drop of a hat. Meaning you could get in a car accident, you could be saying stuff, quit, he needs to stop doing the TV show and just quit whining about disability and stuff. But if you stop and think about it, we could all be, every one of us is going to have a disability at one time or another. And if you think about it, there's one thing in life I don't care what kind of disability it is, whether it be not being able to open up a can of something because the can's too tight. That is a disability. You cannot open a can, so you need something to help you. You need an aid to help you. Now, whether it be a can opener to help you open up a can, that's still an aid, but I need physical people to help me. That doesn't mean that I'm not as smart as some people, that I can't understand anything, or I can't just because I can't talk as plainly as other people at times, because I don't slow down enough to be understood. it doesn't mean that I can't understand what other people are saying. Now, mind you, it is a disability, but it is a disability when languages become a problem because you don't have the knowledge to be able to understand another language. But even that is a disability in itself. You need to learn how to overcome those situations. And no matter how much you may not want to learn, or you may be afraid to learn, believe me, learning and understanding about disabilities and understanding about other people's situations will open your eyes up to other people's likes and dislikes. It'll give you a different perspective on how you could live your life to help other people. And it could also open your eyes to what other mental, I'm trying to think of the best way to say this, that's why I'm stopping. Other mental blocks you have as a person that you haven't thought of other people because you think that's never gonna happen to you, or you're never gonna run into a physical disability, so why worry about it? Because if it's not you, it could be your neighbor. It could be your best friend. It could be your mother. It could be your wife. Or your girlfriend, or your significant other. Everybody has a disability. At least, in my personal opinion, at least one person in the sound of my voice has at least one family member with a disability. And as we get older, you're all gonna have a disability. And there's one easy way to overcome the psychological and why me attitude. And that is, you're in the situation for a reason. And you're in the situation to experience life so you can help other people. My situation that I'm in right now is to do this show and to tell people with a disability and to tell people without a disability that whatever abilities you have, use them to the best of your ability and use them to help other people. Because without other people, there would be no reason to be here. If we lived in this world alone, not only would it be boring, but it would be useless because we wouldn't have anybody to build or supply us with anything. But one of my biggest things, and this is my personal opinion, is the biggest disability for me, and for the biggest thing that I have overcome in the past 20 plus years of being in Massachusetts and understanding that you're here for another purpose, and somebody else is in control of your life, and that is Jesus Christ. Somebody else is in control. You're not in control. What you want to do in life isn't necessarily what you're going to do in life. He is going to direct your life if you let him. He is in Jesus Christ. Without Jesus, I'd probably be the most selfish person in the world. I was the selfish person in the world. I was the fact that, oh, I can't do this. Why can't, I don't have to learn how to do that because other people can just do it for me. Well, are other people here to do other things for us? No, we are here to help each other, okay? Not to do everything for each other. That's not much of an education if we know how to do something and we don't tell other people how to do it. Now, sometimes it's easier and sometimes we're skilled in more ways than one. It may be easier, and that's what we're called to do, is to do what other people can't do. But we are not able to make the decision that they can't do it. We're supposed to be stewards of what we have and give people the opportunity to learn. Whether they use the information they need to learn is up to them. But to understand that there is a higher power more than you, that is the greatest ability anyone can have. I don't care what kind of disability you have, as long as you understand that there is a God, and He died for you, and He gives you the ability to live your life the best you can in this world. That is the greatest gift anybody can have. That is the only gift that you need to have. And not that I'm trying in actuality I am, but I know I can't make anybody change their mind about Jesus, but I'm giving you the opportunity to think about where you came from and think about where you could go if you just took the time to understand where we all came from. I know people are gonna say you came from your mother or you came from your father, but where did your mother and father come from? Where was the, what caused disabilities in the first place? So in the remaining couple minutes that I have, I just want people to think that no matter what you go through, things could be worse for other people. And having the knowledge and the understanding of one person that has been through what I've been through. I have not been through it all, nor has anybody been through every situation. But if one person can take value in anything I am saying, then I've done my job. And if you need to get a hold of me to talk to me about my experience and give me some ideas about other people's experiences so I can share them on the show, get a hold of me at wheelingthepathwayslife@gmail.com. wheelingthepathwayslife@gmail.com. I'd like to say one thing. People who have a disability, the disability may be mental or something like that, but you don't know that until you talk to them. It may be just skin deep. It may be just a physiological disability. So what I'm asking you to do this week is take the time and talk to people with disabilities and see what they're all about inside. Because the outside, yes, it matters, but it doesn't matter when it comes to intelligence. It doesn't matter when it comes. Physical ability does not mean you don't have the mental ability to do the things you need to do. I want people to think about it this week, and I thank United Cerebral Palsy of Western Mass. I thank Pittsburgh Community Television for allowing me to come on week after week and spend an hour talking to you about situations that I deal with and the ability to be able to function in society like anybody else. And I appreciate the opportunity and the support that you, the general public, give me. And in the future, we're going to have some pretty big surprises, such as a town hall, talking to people with disabilities, and talking to agencies, and talking to people with a political influence to talk about what they can do for people with certain situations that they don't know about because they don't pay attention to people with disabilities. And let me tell you something, if this show does nothing more than shed light on people with disabilities, that's the best thing I can do, and shed light and make it expose people, expose people's thinking for what it is. People's thinking can be mistaken. We, as disabled individuals, we as human beings on this earth deserve everything everybody else as quote-unquote able-bodied people. Everything an able-bodied person has, we deserve the right to have the same respect as everybody else. With that, folks, I will say again, if you need to get hold of me, you can get hold of me at willingthepathwaytolife@gmail.com. I really appreciate everybody's support, and again, thank you to Pittsburgh Community Television and United Cerebral Palsy of Western Mass for your support, and thank you to my crew, and we will see you all next week. Thank you.
Said you can bury the workman, but the work will go on. You can silence the voices, but you can't stop the song. 'Cause when the spirits move, and His will be done. You can bury the workman, but the work will go on.